ish. I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and plan to getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me? I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it
I hate
for
these
us.
average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete. Deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building, my whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Grand Rising and good morning to everybody out there. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I am your solo host for the week, Trey Holiday, and we are filming from the iconic Liberty Bank building. I feel like it's already becoming iconic, even though it still feels really new to the neighborhood of the Central District of Seattle. You know, me and Omari's home. Let's get right into it because we have a great lineup for you guys today. We have several guests in the building. We have Alyse Nelson with SDOT, who's going to be talking about the Safe Streets Survey. And we also have Elijah L. Lewis from Africatown Community Land Trust. He's going to be giving us a little bit of his perspective on the Umoja Day of Unity recap that just happened this past Saturday, as well as some of the work he's doing right here as community organizer and community builder with Africatown Community Land Trust in the Liberty Bank building. And lastly, we're going to have Jamerika Haynes-Lewis. She is USA Ambassador Miss 2021. She brought that national crown right back here to the Central District. So I'm so excited to dive in deep with her and learn about her journey to becoming the USA Ambassador Miss 2021. So, as always, we got to get started. And right now is a perfect opportunity to tag and share the stream. Please tag and share the stream with anyone that you feel could benefit from culturally relevant news emanating from right here in the Emerald City. And we got to give a big shout out to our partners. South Seattle Emerald, and our partners over at KBCS 91.3 at Bellevue College. Thank you guys for partnering with us. Also, you guys know that we try to give you guys the morning update show in a wide variety of ways. You can also find us on any of your podcast platforms. They got SoundCloud coming right there for you, but they also have us on Apple, Google, Spotify, anywhere that you're finding your favorite podcast. So if you don't get a chance to watch the broadcast, feel free to join us on the podcast so you guys can make sure you're staying engaged and informed about all the things going on right here in the Emerald City. We are keeping this message alive, you guys, because it is election season. We want to make sure you guys understand a great way to support independent Black media is by going on to Where We Converge/shop and getting one of our No Excuses shirts or hoodies. This is time to make sure that that message is loud and clear. No excuses, none for us as those who should have been coming out to the polls, making sure our voices are heard, and none to those who are on that campaign trail trying to solidify their seat in a wide variety of elected positions. So please make sure folks know, man, no excuses. And I love to say also that no excuses goes to a wide variety of ways when we're talking about holding ourselves accountable, holding our neighbors accountable. It goes beyond elected officials. So please go on over to whereweconverge.com/shop and cop one of those no excuses shirts so y'all can become part of the no excuses family. Let's hold folks accountable. This is, it's real right now. I'm hearing so many more cases of the Delta variant hitting so many different communities and so many different people, folks that I know, folks I'm connected with. So I just want to give you guys this information. The vaccine is readily available right here. It is free, no charge. You are able to choose from all three of the forms that you can get. You can get the Moderna or the Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson, and it is free. This effort to make sure folks are vaccinated is because we're seeing this pandemic run wild once again. For those of us who are really excited and thinking, it's subsiding, we see that there is a surge. So if you are still, trying to find out how to get vaccinated, please just know that it is free. You guys can go to the King County Health website to learn more about services that are available to you. And if you're unable to leave your home, you guys, they'll come to your house. So please check out all of the ways that you can get vaccinated if you're still looking to do so. One of our favorite campaigns we're running right here internally is we got to get our guy Jake Grabrot to 10,000.
Unbelievable, man. He's the best player in the world. I'm glad he's on my side. And going into a game 7, you want the best player in the world on your side.
The backyard got mountains in it. I do not move until my accountant finish. Big mason jars, each one an ounce.
That's right, y'all. If you guys are looking for amazing imagery and amazing storytelling coming out of our guy right here, Jake Grabrot, please follow walk.into.the.light. And the thing is that he is literally walking into the light with his height, and he's going to give you that perspective if you make sure you go ahead and follow him. Let's get him over the 10,000 benchmark. It's a huge, huge feat on Instagram, and we know that you guys are out there loving the imagery that's coming out of Converge. So let's make sure that we're supporting Jake in that way personally on Instagram. All right, you guys, yesterday was an amazing show. We were able to really capture some great updates from folks that are working on the Rainier Beach redevelopment project. And so we want to make sure that you guys are staying engaged in this project and engaged in the process. It's going to be so much better when they hear from community members, when they hear from those who have minority businesses, or those, I love to say, from the global majority businesses that need to be a part of this project. There is $160 million on the table to redevelop Rainier Beach High School, bringing it up into the new age century. So we want you guys to please join these efforts. You guys can go to Build the Beach for us by us.com to learn more. They do have an engagement session that's focusing on the electrical components of the redevelopment happening this Thursday. So please, if you guys know somebody who's doing electrical work, if you know somebody who has an electrical business and you're like, hey, they might need to know about this, please share the opportunity with them. And if you're just a community member who wants to make sure that your voice is a part of the redevelopment of Rainier Beach High School, make sure you guys get engaged. That's exactly what they're looking to do, is bring more community members into the process. And we heard yesterday that they are wanting more and more of us to be going to these meetings, to be calling in, dialing in, getting on the Zoom. It is virtual, so it should not be a problem for you guys to do it. And ultimately, I think the project will be way better off when we include our diverse voices and perspectives so that these developers can understand that this is how you develop with community for community. So it only happens if community gets engaged. I'm encouraging y'all, and no excuses for y'all out there to get engaged in this project, particularly those of you who live in the Rainier Beach area. It's really important. So, one of the great things about working right here at Converge is I get the opportunity to see our internal growth. And as you guys know, we have a studio that is designed for us. We've been making a lot of spaces work, but it's exciting to know that we have a studio coming up soon. And we're going to be able to have the SABJ in that very studio, giving a tribute to the Connie Thompson, who has dedicated so many years of her professional career towards telling these local stories right here in Seattle and throughout King County. It is so important that we be able to celebrate those who have made their trails and blazed them in their own accord. Connie Thompson has definitely done that, and I'm so excited that the SABJ, Seattle Association of Black Journalists, have decided that Converge Studios is where they want to host this upcoming Community Voices and giving a real amazing tribute to the Connie Thompson. We got Jesse Johnson, who's going to be on that tribute as well. And the thing of it is I started my media career at King 5 with Get Jesse, right? And so the idea is that, what we're doing right here at Converge, this, independent media company, Black owned, that we are now a part of the larger fabric of media right here in the city is really beautiful. And I think so much of it is because Omari and I, we were banging our heads trying to find our way through all of those media stations. I was trying to, progress at King 5, and it was not easy to do so. But shout out to all of those who are blazing those trails, and shout out to the SABJ for recognizing Converge Media and our studios as an amazing space to pay this tribute to Connie Thompson. So you guys, that is coming up this Saturday. The tickets are only $10. I know they're dropping the link in the comments now, so you guys can go ahead and purchase your ticket. It's going to an amazing effort for the scholarship for another young Black journalist to find their pathway to make it into the journalism field. So please, you guys, support this amazing effort, and let's make sure we're showing our support for Connie Thompson, right? We have an amazing show, as I said. I'm really excited because we've been talking about this Safe Street survey for a while now. We want to encourage y'all to use that survey, but I'm excited that Alyse Nelson with SDOT is here to give us a little bit more perspective from the inside about why they launched this survey, what it's looking like, what the deadline is like. So we're going to be getting into all of that with Miss Alyse Nelson coming up after this short break. Stay tuned, you guys. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences.
Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006, with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
Hey, it's me, downtown Seattle, C-Town. Wish you were here. Here, to explore inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Where it's easy to get my good side. Here, where my rooftops invite you to come early and stay late. Where every view is a postcard, and each night out might be your best night ever. See you soon. Love, C-Town.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. Let me make sure I make this correction because it is Jesse Jones, not Jesse Johnson. Jesse Johnson is our federal weight council member that's actually a state rep now. That's Jesse Johnson, but Jesse Jones is the one that's going to be doing the tribute to Connie Thompson. I wanted to make sure I get that right because in media, we got to make sure we're using these names properly and correctly. But now joining me is Alyse Nelson with SDOT. We're going to be diving into the Safe Street Survey. What's up, Alyse?
Hey, nice to be here today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. So I wanted to make sure everyone knew about the Safe Start project that we have going on right now. We have Safe Start permits. They're available for people to still apply. So right now we offer Safe Start permits. They're free. They're available for sidewalk cafes, merchandise displays like retail, and then also vendors, food vendors. So we're happy to talk to people that want to apply still for a free permit, which is available now until May 2022. But we also really want to also hear from people. We're kind of stopping now to think about what's past May 2022. We know that that's a date we're working towards, but what do we want to see moving forward with our Safe Start program? So we have a survey, an online survey monkey that is available on our website. And we really want to make sure we're hearing from all residents and businesses in Seattle. What's working well with our Safe Start 1.0, we're calling it. What should we think about for Safe Start 2.0? And how can we adapt our existing programs to better serve the residents and businesses of Seattle? So in particular, we'd love to hear from people of color, business owners of color, people with disabilities, and just in general, anybody who has experienced a cafe space in the street, people who haven't and may want to. We just really want to make sure we're hearing from everybody. This is a really good point in time to stop and hear from people and then kind of consider what we're hearing and think about what's next for our program.
Well, I think it's really important because when you talk about Safe Start, I mean, we're seeing such an influx, right? Delta variant, we're seeing more and more cases coming on board now. And it's really interesting times that we're all dealing with because I feel like everybody is in this like constant influx and a shift, right? Where we're trying to make sure that we're protecting ourselves, that we're being safe, but we're learning more and more about what that looks like.
Right.
What was the big catalyst? Obviously, it feels like it's COVID, but I just want to ask from your perspective to launch this entire program.
Right. Well, it really was COVID and the pandemic. We already had existing permit opportunities for people to have sidewalk cafes or to have streeteries, which are the curb space cafes that you see out there. But we wanted to open up more opportunities for people to do it and to do it quickly and for free. And so that was really the initiative to launch Safe Start back in summer 2020. And we still see it as a really important and important option for businesses now. I think people are still trying to decide how comfortable they are being inside and dining inside. So having more options to dine outside is really helpful, even at this stage in the pandemic.
Well, I have a really good question here because I know that, I'm like every industry almost was hit really hard by COVID. And, as we think about a restaurant or a restaurateur saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start providing some space outside. How does the permit work for them in terms of, is it them who then is doing the cost and having to have that expense to get those tables and the, liners built? Is that all on the business owner themselves?
Yeah, right now that is a cost the businesses are paying to get set up. Our permits are free, our review process is free, but we can't provide the tables and the seating opportunities. There are some other grants out there that people may be able to look for. But that's one of the reasons we want to make sure we have a good time between, what the Safe Start 2.0 and kind of gearing up for what's next. We want to do that with enough time so businesses can have time to transition if they need to make any changes as we think about transitioning to a permanent program.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just be straight up honest. I am a fan of these spaces, and I think also too, it's beneficial to the weather we've been having this summer. And so part of this, it's better than it was in 2020. We're having real hot days. We're having a lot of amazing sun. It makes it a little bit more palatable for people to be outside and be sitting at those tables. What are some of the things that you've been hearing from some of the surveys that are coming in terms of people being engaged in this process and being able to share their experiences?
Yeah, great question. Well, our survey is still going on, so we haven't done kind of stopped and done a bunch of data crunching quite yet. We're really focusing on trying to get the word out, like I'm talking to you today. But I think in general, my sense is that people are really enjoying the spaces, like you said. Businesses have talked about how these have been a lifeline during COVID to really have a way to serve customers outside. And I think it seems encouraging that what we're hearing so far from people's experiences. So, and I also, I guess, would just say, yes, you're right about summer and how great it is to sit outside. But I've also been encouraged to see how people have adapted over the fall and winter months to be able to kind of keep that outside dining alive even in the winter. So that's also something that we're thinking about with Safe Start 2.0 is there a hope for an outdoor dining culture kind of year round in Seattle that we could maybe have as an outcome from this effort?
I agree with you actually too, because, people are out there with those heaters. I mean, they're making it work. And I saw that firsthand right here in the Liberty Bank building with communion, right? I mean, they did not have indoor seating when they opened up. So everything was outdoors, right? And they do have a cover, right? So if it's raining, but then they had those amazing heaters, and the way that they placed them made them okay for you to be at any one table and to still feel that heat. And so, yeah, you're going to dress in layers. We do that in Seattle anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a part of the culture, but I think that you're right in terms of just being innovative and showing what it could look like outside of summer months. So this is really exciting. What are some of the biggest things that you're hoping for in terms of engagement with the community and putting this survey out there? Because you guys, like you said, had the permits out there, but now it's really about hearing from folks. What are some of the things that you're really excited about in that process?
Well, I really wanted to be I think we know it's been successful. We've seen a lot of good results so far. People seem to be really happy, but I think it's important to stop and be really strategic about wanting to listen and hear from people and really better understand, is it what is working well, what isn't working well, how can we adapt and continue to innovate and be creative. So I think for now, I'm just excited to have this opportunity to get the word out and help make sure we're hearing from as many people as we can, so that when we get to the next step of kind of drafting a permanent plan for Safe Start 2.0, we're ready and we've heard and listened to people, and what we come up with really makes sense for businesses and residents of Seattle.
And what are some of the main concepts for Safe Start 2.0? Clearly, you guys have been, I'll say, in the lab, right, working on this. What are some of the main components in taking in those lessons that you've learned from 1.0 into 2.0?
Yeah, I think we're really at the beginning stages of thinking about what 2.0 might include. I think some of the things we're thinking about are what kind of permanent structures make sense for the curb space or the sidewalk. We've had permanent streeteries that are more kind of like, they have a platform, they're more built up. And with the temporary permits, we've really allowed like street level dining with more temporary fencing. So I think like that's some of what we're evaluating as well. We've done both, you know, and for example, like with our permanent streeteries, we had about 10 or fewer permanent streeteries in Seattle pre-COVID. And now we have over 100 dining spaces outside in the curb. So, you know, that's something that we're like, okay, what happened, you know, and what can we do to kind of keep that activity in a way that makes sense? And, you know, what are the barriers that may have existed with curb space dining previously? And what might we want to do to kind of reduce the barriers moving forward past the pandemic?
Yeah, well, this is really interesting because, you know, I've been saying, you know, this whole time, we're just in such a unique time where we're all making these transitions. We're all figuring out how to be flexible so that we can continue to have a thriving economy. And I think that this is really a part of that, right? And so, you know, kudos to SDOT for being like, you know what, we're going to have these free permits out there. We want to make sure people have access to them. I hear you saying they're closing in 2022. What are some of the thoughts around, hey, if this is working well, how do you keep that open? Is it then that it's going to be a fee? What are some of the thoughts you guys have about that after that time frame?
Yeah, I mean, that's really like, this survey will help us like be more informed about what's really important to people, and, you know, how much of a barrier is fees. And so it's all kind of on the table, I'd say right now. You know, we have our existing programs, they have their existing fees, and basically our deadline is to get back to City Council towards the end of this year with our draft plan. And so, you know, I think once we have the survey, get the data from that, it'll really help kind of define what areas are really important to focus on to bring forward into the permanent Safe Start 2.0 project.
Right on. Well, I know we've been talking about it for a while, but this survey is closing, yes. Alyse. What is the deadline? And let's make sure we're encouraging people to get it in before the deadline.
For sure. It closes on August 15th. And so we really want everyone to go and take our survey. It's available in a total of 8 languages, I believe. So we really want people to go out, take the survey. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes max. And the data will really help us understand what you think we should do for Safe Start 2.0.
Amazing. Before I let you go, how can people find that survey? I know we're going to have the comment in the links, but let's make sure we get it on audio too for anybody out there in the podcast world. How can they find this survey, Alyse?
Yeah, we'll just go, I mean, there's a couple ways, but we have a website. It's seattle.gov. And then if you go to, well, I'm going to say the easiest way is just to Google SDOT. Safe Start, and you will find our webpage on all the things Safe Start. So it's a great place to go if you may want to still apply for a permit, or you'll see our survey right front and center at the top of the webpage.
Oh, wow. Amazing. You know, one of the things that really excites me about this entire process is that you guys are being intentional to engage community. And, you know, we talk about it here on the Morning Update show often that, you know, it takes both sides, right? We can talk about how systems are, you know, antiquated, but when we think about innovating systems, it means that we have to bring our voices into it. We have to be a part of that process and be engaged in it and really utilize our civic engagement to say, you know what, we're going to be a part of that. We're going to help better it, right? If we don't like something, we're going to make sure that we're saying it. So thank you guys for reaching out to community and for coming right here on the Morning Update show and allowing Converge to be a part of the messaging.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you guys heard it right here from Alyse herself. That is important for you guys to be engaged. Please find a way to dig into this survey, y'all. We want to make sure that restaurants and vendors and everything, that they have the opportunities they need as we all deal with this pandemic. Coming up after this short break, I am bringing Elijah L. Lewis, community builder for Africatown Community Land Trust, and he is becoming a staple right here at the Liberty Bank building. We'll be diving into all the work he's doing here and the amazing Umoja Day of Unity recap after this short break. You're watching The Morning Update.
Hey Seattle, if you're trying to find something to do this summer, I got the perfect thing for you. Come on down to Seattle Waterfront's Pier 62 and enjoy free, yes free, family-friendly events all summer long, like art, dance, music, storytelling. And if you're trying to get that body right before the summer is over, you might as well join their free yoga and fitness classes. Head on over to Waterfront Park Seattle for a full summer schedule of vibes you don't want to miss.
Hey, It's me, downtown Seattle, C-Town. Wish you were here. Here, to explore inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Where it's easy to get my good side. Here, where my rooftops invite you to come early and stay late. Where every view is a postcard, and each night out might be your best night ever. See you soon. Love, C-Town.
Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media. Welcome back to the Morning Update Show, everybody. I'm your host for the week. I'm so used to saying co-host. I miss Big O already. We miss you, but I'm glad you're taking a break. Welcome back. I got Elijah L. Lewis with Africatown Community Land Trust. He is a business owner as well, doing a lot of different things out here in the community. What's up, Elijah?
What's up, Trey? How you doing?
Hey, good to see you, man. You know, I know we had you on a while back, you know, and we've had you on several times, but it's because you're really plugged into community. And so I just wanted to start off with how dope Umoja Day of Unity was this past Saturday, man. You know, I want you to be able to tell the folks a bit from your perspective, because I know you helped with organizing it, like myself, but you also got to really experience it. What was it like for you?
Yes, for one, I would just like to give props to Margot and Curtis and the rest of the team. You know, we did a phenomenal job on the Umoja Fest, you know, and Margot led charge in that, and she's been doing that for many years. So I just want to always honor them. But, you know, from my perspective, I just seen so much Black love, so much empowerment, so much liberation within our community, you know, just being in Seattle, born and raised. It's like sometimes you kind of forget that was Seattle, and, you know, that was the Central District, and, you know, all the greatness that the Black community has to offer and what we do when we're together and united. Yeah,
you know, I agree. And I think I was so impressed with the talent that was on that main stage, man. Yes. I'm telling you, I am a big fan of Will Jordan, who stepped in at the last minute, man. Shout out to Will Jordan and his team over there, and all of the performers. I was just blown away. You know, one of the things that I really appreciate is having the opportunity to showcase talent like that's local, because you know, sometimes Seattle gets overlooked on the talent scheme, man. And I know that you have a background in managing talent and everything else. So let's speak to some of the talent that you saw there on Saturday. I mean, how was that experience for you? Because for me, I was blown away, man.
All I have to do is say Sky Dior is always someone to look forward to. Like, she's always killing it, and just finding out that she's been doing it since she was 4 years old, up on stage at Umoja Fest, just the history. And that just talks about just how showcasing it is important to showcase our talent, right? Yeah. Because literally she is being raised literally by the Black community and by the tribe, you know what I mean? And from 4 to now 9 years old, and being able to just bring the crowd in and just be able to really cultivate her artistry is something that I love. You know, my niece Cody is her backup dancer. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, I think that it's beautiful to see young, artists put other young artists on, or young dancers, and even, Cutting Up. Shout out to Cutting Up. They're always amazing. Coach T, you know what I mean? He did his thing, right? Because, he was able to turn that around as well. So it's just like, I just love seeing, our Seattle talent and come together.
I know for Juneteenth, we brought out 7th Streeter, and we had, Gifted Gab come back to the CD, right? But I will say that this past Saturday, I thought, my word, I heard April Shantae's voice, and I was like, forget about it. I mean, we had Zach Bruce coming back. I mean, the thing of it is that I think sometimes we think it must be better out there. When you think about an LA market, Atlanta, New York, right? You start thinking, well, they're working their butt off down there. But man, oh man, I gotta say, and you're right, when it comes to like Sky Dior, Cutting Up, we got some staples right here in the community that show up and show out every single time. Yeah. And so I knew that you would appreciate the talent, because you've talent scouted, you've been a manager, you've been booking talent. So you understand it from a whole different perspective. And that really brings me into you as a business owner. Elijah, you're only what,
21 years old. Yes. 21 years old. I started in the entertainment industry at 16 years old. Started out as aspiring, apprentice, really. And then I actually ended up owning 50% of Town Biz Entertainment, for some of those who know. But yeah, like starting out at a young age and learning and just seeing how there's a lot of talent in Seattle, but they don't have a platform. They don't have an opportunity to come into somewhere and just to be cultivated and be supported by their community, and really given the opportunities and shown, like, don't go this path, because this way is going to suck you into something that, might alter who you are. You know what I mean? And it is better to be yourself and be genuine and be unique. That's what the industry actually looks for, is those genuine people who know themselves and know their artistry and are able to bring their fullest self to the table, right? But they kind of alter that and say, like, you have to be like everybody else. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I think that's what, the William Grove Center is doing with, creating that commercial filmmaking, platform for our young filmmakers, and creating an opportunity that they can get tapped into the William Grove Center and our innovation hub, and be able to support young creatives, you know what I mean, in a whole new light, right? That is actually preserving them as an artist, preserving them as a filmmaker, and giving them the platform to get tapped into industry markets, right, that they never are able to do. So I think that it's a beautiful thing that is happening in Seattle, that we're able to like cultivate this and cultivate our greatness in Seattle, and be able to streamline it in a way that people from LA, people from Atlanta, New York, they're going to be like, what? Quincy Jones is from Seattle. What? Jimi Hendrix is from Seattle. What? Seattle had a Black Panther party. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, my uncle Bobby White. Like, that is what I want for the whole world to see, because Seattle has a lot to offer, has a lot of talent and a lot of creatives. And all we have to do is really just, continue to support those building and thriving communities like Africatown, King County Equity Now, all of the other community-based organizations that are out here and really doing the work.
And, that was a great segue, Elijah, because it takes me right to your work as a community organizer and a community builder. And when you talk about the amazing opportunity that William Grove Center is embarking upon, this is something that's still in the beginning stage. So I can't wait to continue to follow the progress and be a part of it as well, right? Yeah. But to follow it so that we can really capture what that opportunity is going to look like for young creatives. And for me, as a young creative myself, I grappled with, should I move? Do I need to go to LA? Do I need to go to, New York or Atlanta to make it in this industry, right? And so I love how Converge is like even showcasing, nah, man, once we put our feet to the ground, even like Omari always says, the camera folks collective even sometimes, not having all these amazing cameras and lighting, but you being a storyteller and being a creative storyteller is what's so important to community. So the fact that William Grove Center is going to be real intentional about building a platform to showcase the wide variety of creative opportunities there are out there. When you think about a set there's so many different jobs. And I mean, even just yesterday, we were talking about development and how there's so many jobs there. When you think about getting t-shirts printed, think about food trucks, they're talking about administrative. There's so many different ways. And so I love being able to break that down in the creative field. And I'm glad that William Grove Center is going to really anchor itself to do that. It's a beautiful project. But you've been now a part of Africatown Community Land Trust for a while. And I got to say, man, on Saturday, King dropped a gem about the Africatown Seattle newspaper, which I
come on, you already know. And we're on the front page too. So there you are, Trey, back with me with the afro. We got Tame, you know what I mean? We got some of the OGs that like really put this thing in work. But yeah, so I am honored, you know what I mean, to even have this newspaper in my hands right now, because when you open it up, I'm just going to open up a few pages, but man, you can see, and of course I got it upside down, but Africatown Community Land Trust, you can learn more about us as an organization. There you are again, Trey. G Prez is in there, the Morning Updates show with Converge. We got Nurturing Roots with Naima Clark, farming and everything that is going on. And this is what it is. It's the Black community in the Central District. This is what's being showcased. This is the Black community's voice, I would say, is our new newspaper. And this is from our voices and are able to just showcase everything that the Black community has to offer, right? And really it's led by community, you know what I mean? And that's what's beautiful about this newspaper right here. First of its kind, first edition Africatown, right? And that's where it's like, I just love to see how much work is really being put in and really showcasing and cultivating our stories.
It just takes me back to the Panther days, man. And, the ideas of, King is just a revolutionary, man. He has talked about this project for so long, getting it on physical paper, because we do newsletters and it's digital and we miss some folks. And I know that I meet with the elders every month and they're like, well, wait, I didn't get it.
This is how they learn. This is
whatever. And so now to be able to say that there's actually going to be, something in print for our people that is uplifting all of the amazing things going on in our community. It is a beautiful thing because Umoja means unity, right? And so even thinking about the message around what does unity look like, that's what it looks like, right? It looks like, being able to be right here on Converge Media and amplify South Seattle Emerald, right? And pay homage to the facts and the medium and Rainier Avenue Radio and all of those folks that have come before us in media and that are working alongside us in media. Black unity is like no other, man. And I know that you're working on unity right here in this building. And I just want to get to it because we're right here at the Liberty Bank building. You as a community builder have been here, present. We're talking to residents. You've been helping people with resources. How has it been for you to make a presence here at the Liberty Bank building?
Well, for me, I'm community, right? So my thing is, let me connect with the residents. Let me see what their concerns are about. Let me see what they want to see in the building and some of their needs are, right? And, I know there was some issues going on. And so really I was like, let's have like a community town hall, Liberty Bank town hall meeting. So I started enacting the town hall meetings, got to do one-on-ones with the residents and, have resource Fridays that we do on Fridays. Currently, I'm actually giving the opportunity to community organizations that give back to residents and give resources to come on our Fridays. So if anybody is in mental health, right, education, in, transportation, or even I was talking to somebody the other day who gives out free phones for community members who might need cellular devices. It's like, come to our Resource Day Fridays, contact me at Elijah at africatownlandtrust.org and be able to make sure that, we're tapping each other in and making sure that we're able to bring these community organizations to give resources to our community and our residents in the building, right? And we're also working with community residents on doing rooftop parties because we got a rooftop, right? And just making it a vibrant community, and a safe community for the residents. That was really my main goal. And I know Reunion on Union really brought that to life. We had a community reunion. The residents were engaged. They loved it. It was an opportunity for them to bring family and just to have people for that they haven't seen in years. Some of these people they haven't seen in 20, 30, 40 years, you know what I mean? And just coming back, it was beautiful, right? I also want to talk about our Black Property and Development meetup that we're having on the 12th, right? And we're going to be having this just to really educate the people who are still here, right? The residents that are still in the Central District and they own their homes, on how they can develop their homes, how they can get funding to develop their homes, and what is the parameters around, doing that development, because there's a lot of barriers that are put in front of our residents, right? Even though we see these infrastructures, these buildings going up left and right? They have to get the proper zoning, they have to get the proper permits. And sometimes that is too much for residents to even understand, right? Nobody's really breaking it down for them. And so they're forced to sell their homes, right? Because there's no way that they can, face these property taxes that are constantly going up, right? And so really the Black Property and Development meetup is really for, our legacy families to be able to come together and say, okay, what's the game plan? How are we going to stay in the Central District? And how are we going to, be able to actually acquire more land for our family? We also have our Black Health and Wellness event that we're doing on the 14th, right? And it's going to be the same kind of thing where, Black health and wellness professionals are going to come together and be able to share their knowledge, right? And be able to give back to our community the holistic approach to healing ourselves, right? Physically, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally. These are things that our community has needed. We're grieving. We're facing gentrification. We're facing loss within our community. We're facing all of these things, oppression, this racist system that we have to grow up in. And it really is just like, man, it's an opportunity for us to come together and really grow together. It's going to be the 14th at 6 p.m. Follow us on our social medias, Africatown Community Land Trust on Instagram, on Facebook. Follow us on our page. Get a part of the subscription site. You can go to africatownlandtrust.org and really tap in with what we're doing, right? Because we're creating so many opportunities for our community to really tap in, buy back the land, right? Own the property and be able to build legacies generationally, right? That's what I love to talk about, is, generationally.
Well, I love to see the spark in you, man. And I gotta say, Africatown Community Land Trust and Africatown, it's just been really holding it down for the Central District for a long, long time. Before
Last
it was
frontier,
before,
right?
Before it was like even popular, I feel like, right?
Yes.
It's like I love the fact that there's really some staples in our community that are saying, like what White King says all the time. Buildings don't build community, people do, right?
Absolutely.
And so having that message alive and well, that's why it's so important that community be engaged. And Elijah, you're doing a phenomenal job. I see you out here in the community. I see you connecting with residents here. Now you guys are going to be bringing more resources to homeowners.
Yes.
All of those things are important. And, Africatown's been leading work groups for a while now around, health and wellness and education and, safety. I mean, really, there's been a lot of different things that have said, look, we got to step in because there's a void here and it's needed for our community. And so shout out to you for bringing your brilliance, all of your business acumen with all the many businesses you have and really your love and passion for community right to Africatown. And I'm glad that you could be here today. Talk a little bit about Emoja, a little bit about yourself and some of the upcoming opportunities that community has to engage with ACLT, Africatown Community Land Trust. Thank you again for joining us today,
Thank
Elijah.
you so much for having me. I always appreciate to be on the show.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is a great show today, you guys. I am feeling the love, feeling the inspiration, and feeling the vibes. We have another short break coming up for you. And joining me after the break is Jamerika Haynes-Lewis. She is our new USA Ambassador, Miss 2021. We're going to get right into it after this short break. You're watching The Morning Update.
Hey, Seattle, if you're trying to find something to do this summer, I got the perfect thing for you. Come on down to Seattle Waterfront's Pier 62 and enjoy free, family-friendly events all summer long, like art, dance, music, storytelling. And if you're trying to get that body right before the summer is over, you might as well join their free yoga and fitness classes. Head on over to Waterfront Park Seattle for a full summer schedule of vibes you don't want to miss.
Hey, it's me, downtown Seattle, C-Town. Wish you were here. Here to explore inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Where it's easy to get my good side. Here, where my rooftops invite you to come early and stay late. Where every view is a postcard, and each night out might be your best night ever. See you soon. Love, C-Town.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006, with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
On the show. Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your host for the week, Trey Holiday, and I am having an amazing show today, and I'm so glad I get to end the show on such a positive note with Miss Jamerika Haynes-Lewis, USA Ambassador, Miss 2021. What's up?
Hey.
Oh my gosh. You know, when I first sat down with you, you were Miss Evergreen State.
Yes.
Now you took it all the way to the national level and you brought that crown back to the CD. Let's give her a round of applause, y'all. I mean, seriously. Great work, Jamerika. Let's talk a bit about your whole trail to get right there.
Oh my goodness. Well, I started competing in pageants, Treyana, about 13 years ago when I was a sophomore in college. And I guess with some little girls, that's something they always want to be, right, is a princess. And so when I was walking by a scholarship board in my college, at the time it was Tacoma Community College, they had an opportunity to be a part of the Miss Pierce County Scholarship Program. So I auditioned for that, and I just fell in love with pageantry. And it was always a goal of mine to win a national title, which is very difficult to do. Because when you're on a stage with other women who are just as powerful and capable as you are, I mean, you literally have a 0 to 5% chance in any given pageant to actually earn the title. And so I started this journey with the USA Ambassador pageant about 3 years ago as Miss Evergreen State. Because of the pandemic, we actually had our title for an additional year. And so during that time, I did monthly appearances. I shared my story as a former foster child through my platform, A Chance to Succeed, Empowering Youth in Foster Care, and just continuing to be out in the community and just really just be with people. And so when it came time for Nationals Week, which was July 25th through the 31st of this year, I went down to Tampa, Florida, and I did an interview. I also did a night of optional competitions where I had a chance to do talent, which I won. And I did Fit and Fabulous, spokesmodel, community service, and resume, and I placed in all of those. And so the final night, I had to do evening gown, and I had to do an on-stage question, the final question. And it was, how would I stay motivated during month 11th and 12th of my reign? And I said, by thinking of the 500,000 young people in our U.S. foster care system and talking about what we can do to improve that system. And now I'm here as the national title holder, and it feels like a dream. And I just feel very blessed that the judges chose me to have this title for this year.
You know what? I mean, it's also just a kudos to your dedication.
Thank
and your commitment to this, because, you know, you are holding down a full-time job while you do this. You got married while you're doing this. I mean, you were doing it in a way that really showcased your dedication and your commitment. And I just got to give you your flowers today, my friend, because you did it. You did it amazingly well. I got to ask, what was your talent?
You know, I did a Latin dance expression. So I had this beautiful yellow ensemble that I created. I bought the feather headdress from Miami Flowers. I bought my dance outfit from Etsy.com, and I just pieced together my costume. And it was a combination of different Latin dance styles: samba, salsa, bachata, just a ton of stuff. And it was just, it was amazing. And it was shocking. It still is, because there were other contestants who had decades of experience, took lessons growing up, and I didn't have that. I was, self-taught, and being Black, we just all get up and dance, at home, move furniture, and you just go at it. And so it was just, wow.
Wow.
It was fun.
I mean, I remember when we talked a while back, and we were talking about Foster Care Awareness Month, right? And I remember you like, hey, because I was like, girl, you're looking good. And you're like, girl, I got my fitness app, I'm doing it. So really all of this stuff plays a role in how you can showcase yourself in a pageant. What is one of the lessons, or maybe one of the skills that you want to make sure that young people understand they need if they're looking to maybe do what you've done and go into pageantry and bring home a national title?
I think what young people need to know is that it is okay to be you, to embrace you for who you are, and to know that you do have influence. I look at some of our young people on social media, and they feel like they have to be someone else or present themselves in a certain way. And I think that's because our youth feel like they're not someone. They feel like they have to look a certain way or act a certain way to have attention drawn to them. And it's like, you do have influence. You may have told somebody a joke that they remembered, or they might like what you wear and they remember you. I know oftentimes when I was growing up, especially being here in the CD and just being a foster kid in general, where I felt like nobody, I felt like I wasn't seen, that nobody wanted to hear me. And it was because of people who were honest and loving and true that said, no, I do see you. I do remember you when you walk out of a room, and I speak well of you and I think of you. And that's one thing that I want young people to know, that there's at least one person in this world that thinks of you and that you are needed.
Wow. I think it's such a powerful message, Jamerika. And, I know you've been doing a lot of work in foster care right here. And, to be able to bring your own experience, your lived experience, to then be beneficial to a young person in that regard, man, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Because I also think too, we have choices, right? And sometimes it's like, look, you could have just been out like, hey, I'm out of here. I'm pageant, and that's what all I care about. But you really are still giving back. What are some of the things you're excited for in terms of this coming term right now as USA Ambassador Miss 2021?
One thing that I enjoy about my title is that I have 7 other national queens in different age divisions, from Little Miss to a Mrs. Age categories. And so just getting to know all of them throughout the year. We'll actually be taking a couple of trips together. We'll get to bond and do some community service together. I also look forward to just bringing awareness to supporting our families and our communities, right? No one expects the bottom of their lives to fall out. And oftentimes when a crisis does hit, things can fall apart really fast. And so I'm actually working with local organizations that work with families to really just make sure that they're hearing that message and letting them know that, something as simple as going to a Mojo Fest, right? And being in community and being seen is so empowering and uplifting for our families, because they're known outside of their mess or their times of crisis. They're known as people, they're known as members of the community. So as long as we can continue to do things like that, where we can just come and be in community and you don't have to pay a bunch of money to be admitted, right? Then those are the things that really allow us to cement those bonds. And so that when times of crisis do happen, it isn't this fallout or life-altering event where families are falling apart, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. And you knew I was going to come around to Emoji Day of Unity.
Yes,
because
girl.
it was so beautiful to see you as part of the parade. I mean, to be able to do what you do and to bring that title home and then to share it with everybody here in the heart of the CD. I was so happy to see you out there. How was the experience for you? Because I know I enjoyed myself.
It was good. I mean, it was just like so much electricity, especially as we came upon 23rd and Jackson, because, it was a little sparse, but just to see everyone, people of different generations, to see, friends and family out there, it was just amazing. And just to know that being a dark-skinned woman with African features, that felt so proud to be that example, that living example that kids and people of different generations could see. that was so important, because a lot of people think when you do pageantry, you have to look a certain way, you have to be a certain skin color, right, a certain size or whatever. And so that just felt really good to be that representation, but to actually be out there doing the actual work as well.
Yeah, because you were in community that day. I mean, you stuck around, you were up by the stage, you were taking photos, people were like coming up to you. I think that really is a part of, taking it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we talk about what it looks like to be engaged in community, it's because we're of community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's not something that's outside of us. You know what I mean? Just like you said. So I just appreciate that so much.
You.
And I know I'll be catching up with you as the year goes on, because I know you'll be having platforms that you are launching. You'll be having things that you're doing in ways that the community can be engaged. So thank you so much, Jamerika. If somebody is looking to, have you come and do a speech, how do they get in touch with you as Miss USA Ambassador Miss 2021?
Yes, well, I'm on Facebook under USA Ambassador Ms., and that's MS period. I'm also on Instagram as Jamerika_B. That's JAMERIKA_B. And just Google my name, and my website, Clever Jam, will also pop up. And so I'm out there, and it's good. And I just wanted to say thank you to you and the staff here at Converge for giving me a voice and platform, especially being a young Black woman in the city. We need to see more positive stories. And that's one thing that I plan on doing with the platforms I have, is helping other people to tell their stories who don't have that visibility.
Right, absolutely. Well, Jamerika Haynes-Lewis, our U.S. Ambassador, Miss 2021, thank you again for coming.
Thank you,
and
Triana.
You look fabulous.
You look good too,
The
girl.
crown is all the way shining and blinging, and I'm just loving all of this energy that you bring every single
Thank
time.
you, girl.
Thank you.
All right, thank
Means a
you.
lot. Well, you guys, I get to close the show out here and give you guys a little bit about what we're going to be expecting tomorrow after this short break. Stay tuned, you guys. You're watching The Morning Up.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I am your host, Trey Holiday, and thank you so much for watching the show today. I'm excited because tomorrow we're going to have some inspiring guests. We have the Reverend Harriet Walden coming on to talk a little bit about some police reform and that consent decree, because there's a vote happening today, so we'll be getting into some recap there. I also have Imani from Rooted 23. For those of you who know Imani, Miss Imani's been out here in community, and so I love being able to dive in with them a little bit more about what's going on right here in the Central District around Liberty Bank Building and that iconic street of 23rd. So again, thank you guys so much for watching the show today. I want to also encourage you guys, please go to buildthebeachforusbyus.com so that you guys can participate in their upcoming meeting that they have on Thursday around the electrical trade, jobs, and the opportunities in electrical for the Rainier Beach redevelopment project. You guys, it's been a great show. I know I'm over time a little bit, had to dive in with my guest today, and I just appreciate you guys for supporting us as always. And I'm going to say, see yourself as part of the solution. Clearly, Elijah, clearly Jamerika have. They are here saying, look, I'm going to be utilizing a part of my life force to make sure that I'm doing something to move progress forward. So please, you guys, be encouraged, be inspired, find a way to see yourself as a part of some amazing solutions. And as my co-host Big O would say, Go forward in your purpose. Go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.